So the mission of the Soil Center really is to help advance regenerative and sustainable practices in agriculture. You know, we're really trying to basically take wastes that are different parts of our enterprise and repurpose them into soil amendments to get them back in the ground.
How do you see the Soil Center making a significant change in sustainable agriculture?
Oh, that's a great question. I think one of the big ones we can do is really affect the tree fruit industry. You know, with the tree fruit industry right now, when you have a tree or an orchard that you want to rip out or do something with, typically people pull them out and then burn the trees. And that's just kind of what people do. And so what we can do is we'll actually have a mobile wood chipping operation to go out and strongly encourage growers to stop that process. We're doing it with our partner growers to say, hey, we're not going to burn any trees anymore. So then we can take that wood and repurpose it through other different processes we have at the Soil Center into soil amendments.
Oh, that's great. So tell me, now that the Soil Center has officially launched, what does the future entail? Are there any big projects on the horizon that you're eager to get started on?
Oh, absolutely. So we have a lot of big projects on the horizon. I mean, we're right now we're building out the system. You know, so as part of that, there's a next level compost unit we're putting in. So it's called an aerated static pile. It's a method of composting that'll really help us compost at next level, increase our throughput, increase the ability for us to compost, and so forth. So that's going in, but that's a pretty big project to do the legwork to make that happen. So there's that, and there's also just other physical facility things we're trying to build out.
What are the ways that community members could get involved in this?
Oh, absolutely. So, you know, when there's waste that they want to compost, they can reach out. We're looking to bring that service online. That's probably not going to be online until next year, but basically to enable people to have a way to compost their compostable waste, because we'll be able to do it at a large scale, and that's one of the things that really brings strength to us. So they can do that, and then on the back end, you know, we're looking to also sell our compost to private individuals and to commercial farms.
So what would you say is the factor that makes the Soil Center stand out against similar organizations in that industry?
Worms.
Worms.
Worms. Worms is one of the big things we can do. We actually have the world's largest worm farm.
Oh, wow.
Right, and it's pretty, and some of the things we can do with that really make us unique.
Would you mind diving into that a little more?
Sure,
what kind of
sure.
things do you see happening with that?
So think of it like this. The worm farm exists mostly, we started the worm farm as a way to kind of help mitigate our waste at our dairy partners. And so what we found with that, essentially, think of the worm farm as a giant swimming pool for worms, okay?
Okay.
Right? And the
That's
top,
quite an image.
It's quite an image, right? But instead of water, it's got wood chips in there. Okay, so that goes back to the orchards. We can repurpose wood from the orchards and put it into our worm beds at our worm farm. So then what do we do with that? We use that as a filtration device for our dairy waste, and then that basically the worms will break down the liquid that's applied to it. And then what we can do on the back end, every year, every 18 months, we have to pull those wood chips out. So then we can take those wood chips, we can compost them, and they're rich with many nutrients, they're rich with worms, and we can use that to basically augment our compost.